We're talking with Yorktown Supervisor Susan Siegel at Community Day on May 15th, 2010. So Susan, it's a beautiful day for Community Day. Of course, everybody today has been remembering Joan Valenstein, who founded Community Day. So what are your thoughts? I mean, I don't know that you worked closely with Joan because you just became supervisor, but obviously you can tell from all the people talking about her, she contributed quite a lot to the town.
I knew the name, and I think I met her once or twice, but unfortunately it wasn't until we learned of her death and I began reaching out and talking to people that I learned about the phenomenal number of things that she had done. Founder of Community Day being one, the Red Letter Day for Dare, the early original teen center, and then the Boys and Girls Club, and then the new teen center, and just a whole host of things. So it is a tragic loss for the community, and my condolences go out to her family.
Yeah, and I imagine, again, in your position as supervisor of a town like Yorktown, it would be a good thing if there were more people like Joan Valenstein who volunteered their time and, you know, for just various quality of life issues. I mean, how have you found it since you've been supervisor January 1 of this year in terms of getting community support for things like that?
I think Yorktown, we are fortunate to have so many dedicated volunteers. As you said earlier, you always thought that there had to be two Joan Valensteins just because of the nature of what she did. But even if more people contribute and just spend a few hours, even just a few hours a month, okay, whether it's the library, an energy committee, an open space, a conservation board. We now have some people working on a senior advisory committee who are meeting once a week, trying to develop programs for the seniors. Each one, in their own little way, contributes, and that's what makes Yorktown such a wonderful place.
And since you did become supervisor, and this is the first time, if I'm correct, you've held public elected office,
yes,
right? What would you say has been your biggest challenge, or is the town's biggest challenge right now?
Well, I hate to sound pessimistic, but money is a big challenge. We're still in hard times, and we don't see the end of it yet. So we're waiting. We have a lot of problems in this year's budget, and it's going to be tight for 2011. We are looking to lots of different ways to save money, to reduce expenses.
Right.
So, because we don't want to cut services. That's the last thing we want to do. So that's my biggest challenge at this point.
And what would you say on the flip side of that coin, what would you say has been, let's say, the most gratifying part of the job so far?
I think meeting all of the town employees. I knew many of them over the years that I was involved in the community, but I met many more. They're all hardworking. I have a great relationship with all of them, with the department heads, and I'm meeting more and more volunteers with the different community groups, and it's just a fantastic experience.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Supervisor Siegel.
Thank you.